Really quick, I just want to side note that I have a peel on my face. So if I'm talking and I just like brush my skin and it looks like skin's peeling off of my face, it's not, it's the peel. Okay. I'm just dry and weird because I've just traveled constantly for the last 3 months. I have traveled more in the last 3 months and been pushed out of thy comfort zone more than I have in a very long time. And that's exactly why I'm very happy with what we're doing. Okay. So anyways, I asked Saray to, oh wait, I'm gonna ask to unmute you and then you can unmute whenever you want. Because I'm assuming I was gonna say kids out in Spanish, it's not the time. It's too late for me to do that. Niños. What?
Yeah, means. Yeah,
Niños,
they're all sleeping.
guys. I'm partially I'm just I have a little bit of Latina in me now. Anyways, I'm very excited, you guys. So who's brand new? Who's brand new? Comment below, say hey. Who's been maybe on my team in the past once upon a time? Really quick, I want to share with you guys just a little bit about me because I want you to know my background. Some of you guys might not have a freaking clue who I am, and that's super exciting. So my name is Jade. I am a mom of 3 and I live just a little bit south of Nashville. If you guys don't know, I've been in this industry now. This will be my 10th year, which is really, really weird. Because I was a hairstylist. I was a hairstylist before I got started. I was just like a super broke mom. How many of you guys, has anybody like had a single mom or you are a single mom? So my mom had me when she was just 18 years old. So shout out to the young single moms. I know Ashley Mirth was a young mom. She was not single though, and never has been. She's a married mom. She got married very young. But my mom was a young single mom. And she had me when she was young and dumb. And I saw her do a lot of young, dumb things, but also sometimes I just think that the world is not set up for people to succeed. I don't know, like the system's kind of really, really strange. And so we struggled really bad financially to the point to where like we didn't have a home phone. We didn't have a TV. I didn't have a computer to do my schoolwork. I actually hand wrote every single one of my papers that was supposed to be typed out, and my teachers never said a thing because they knew that we were broke. If it wasn't for my friends in school, I actually today saw that one of my friends that used to give me her hand-me-down clothes when I was in school, so that way I had clothes to wear because I literally wore them till they like fell apart. She was pregnant with her 3rd child today. I think I was talking to Saray when I saw that. But we struggled bad. I skipped school lunches, like we struggled bad. And so when I turned 17, I graduated high school when I was 17 years old. And then I met my husband right after I turned 18. Obviously, it was my boyfriend. I moved out with him after being with him for just 3 weeks. But does anybody know that feeling like you kind of, when you know, right? And I definitely knew it with him. I said that we were going to get married, and here we are. We've been together for 15 years next month, which is crazy. It's crazy. It's wild how time goes by, right? I'm like a mom of like a 10-year-old. So weird. But the reason why I got into this industry is because I busted my butt to become a hairstylist, and I never once in my life thought about being a mom. I don't know if anybody relates to that. I did not ever want to have kids, like ever. Like, I don't know, like my mom didn't really seem like a super mom kind of mom. So I truly had never had a single want or thought about what it was going to be like to have kids. And so when my husband and I got married in November of 2011, we did what the married people do. And I got pregnant right away. So fast. I was like, wow, that really happened in a jiff, huh? Like, huh, all right, that's nice. And it really threw me for a loop. And it felt like it was this terrible thing that was happening to me. And I know that that sounds bad, but I never thought about being a mom. And here, all of a sudden, right after we get pregnant, my husband loses his job. And when we lose our job, we lost our insurance. And then we had to move twice while I was pregnant. And then we started having complications in our pregnancy. And then I was going to very expensive specialist appointments every 2 weeks. Like it literally just felt like my life was in this downward spiral. But what I did not know was there is a higher power out there that just knows so much more than I do. Because when I had my son, and I want to tell you guys something, I had him in August. I was telling my clients, I was like, listen, don't worry. This has been my dream. I became a salon manager 6 months after graduating from school. Like this was like my dream that I wanted to have forever. And I was telling them, don't worry, I'm going to have this baby. I can't even believe I'm even like repeating this because I was such an idiot, but I was like 2 weeks later, I'll be back in the salon. Like I could barely walk after 2 weeks after giving birth. Okay. That was the dumbest thing I've ever could have said. I was so dumb. Well, that just helped. I just wish I could go back and just smack myself a little bit because that was so stupid. But I had Levi, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Levi, but he is just the coolest kid, and he's 10 years old. But I'm going to tell you what, when I had him and they like put this fresh, frothy baby on your chest, like my heart broke in a million pieces like the Grinch. And it was like, all of a sudden, all the things that I had ever wanted in my life, I saw my life flash before my eyes, and I no longer cared about any of them. I completely, on August 7th in 2012, I became a completely different person. And so this industry came into my life because I was trying to do whatever I could. I felt like a professional broke person. Has anybody ever felt like that? Sorry, I got to open up the chat. I'm like talking to you guys. I'm not even, I felt like a professional broke person. I was like, I know how to do this. I know how to put the plastic on the windows. I know how to keep the heat at like just above freezing the pipes. I know how to skip meals. I did that. I know how to sew my husband's pants. I did that when I was in high school to make my pants last longer. I know how to be a professional broke person. But that only lasted the first year of my son's life until I realized that I was spending his whole first year of his life feeling sorry for myself and penny pinching and doing weird couponing things. I was trying to be one of those crazy coupon lady things. And if any of you guys know me, you know that I don't have an attention span for that. I have zero organization skills, and it was a hot mess. I did get like 20 gallons of soap for super cheap one time, but that was just not it. And so I realized that I could not save or penny pinch my way out of being broke. It wasn't that I had too many bills. It was that I didn't have enough money. And so when network marketing came into my life, it was when I needed it the most. And it was when I had pretty much almost given up, and I kind of had like a Hail Mary. I don't know what I did. Like, hey God, it's me, Susan, like that whole moment. And I was like, I don't know what I did. I don't know who I pissed off. I don't know why I feel like I'm just struggling my whole life. I'm not a bad person, but I'm not living life like this for the rest of my life. And it was right after my son's first birthday that someone had messaged me in a mom group. And that person, you guys, she was only a part of that company for 2 weeks. And she had no idea that the person that she had messaged had just been crying, had just been fighting with her husband, had just been making homemade laundry soap and washing her clothes in her bathtub. That's how bad things were for us. But what she also did not know was that the person that she was talking to was about to become a top 10 income earner. She had no idea the person that she was talking to was about to make $1 million in less than 2 years. So I really want to encourage you guys that you may think people who you're talking to, potentials, you may think that they're nobody special, but every single person who turns into someone special was absolutely nobody special. And that it's your job to see potential in every single person's eyes. Okay. So that's just a little bit about me. I don't know. I've got a bunch of trophies. I've made millions of dollars, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. The most important thing to me is that I have my own wash machine, and I no longer have to wash clothes in my bathtub. And that if I need to buy groceries, I can buy them and I don't have to put things back. And that if my son wants to play sports, I can play sports. And that we have a savings, and that we've been able to pay off debt and not live off of credit cards. That is the most important thing to me. Sorry, my face is peeling. That is the most important thing to me. The other stuff is really cool, and the trophies are great and all of that stuff, but being able to become the person that I was supposed to become. I'm not just a mom. I wasn't just a hairstylist. I'm not just a wife. This industry allows normal people like Alicia and Gayla and Sarah and Saray and Ashley and Courtney and Brianne and Haley and Joni and Kylie. It allows all of these normal people, and Nicole, to become somebody. Every single person, we all have the we all have the opportunity to become someone we never ever thought we could have. And that's how special this industry is. Okay. So being a part of Q and becoming a silver and above. So a silver makes a set pay of $4,000 a month. That is a lot of money. That is sometimes for some people, that's more than a full-time income. And I was handpicked so crazy to all expenses paid, fly into Utah. My husband went with me, and this was his first experience with Q, and go to our president's lodge, go to Jake Spencer's lodge. And I was very, very nervous, and I was very, very intimidated, because you guys, Q is a completely different level. How many of you guys have maybe been with another company once upon a time, and being with Q, you were like, this is like a completely different level of life. It really is. And I was very, very nervous to be surrounded by a whole bunch of other people who I do not know, who are at all different levels of like just what they know and all of these things. But it was truly not at all what I expected, in such an incredible way. And I'm excited to share this stuff. And so what I want Saray to do, because I came home and I called her and I kind of was talking to her about different things that I had like learned. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share with you guys kind of what the experience was like, because I want you guys to put this on your dream board. I want you guys to go to Silver Summit. I want you to be around people that you don't know. I want you to have our president sitting in front of you. When the owner of a company is training you, that is when you know you are in the right place. That is one of the reasons why I was looking for a new home. And I was so sick of I was just miserable, because there was no training and there was no direction. And I can only get myself so far, but a company should know where they're going. And that is exactly what Q Sciences has with Mark Wilson and Jake Spencer. Okay. So Saray's, it's just going to become a discussion, but just interrupt me at any point that you feel like you want to dive into something. I know you're going to have a hard time doing that because you don't know that, but do it anyways. Okay. So is there anything that you want to say thus far?
No.
I'll stay hydrated every time you talk. I'll just drink my water so I stop talking. Okay. First of all, you guys, this is what I want you to know. We have 150,000 ambassadors worldwide. Okay. And one of my most favorite things that they did for us at this training. So we come into the lodge. Okay. You get flown in, you stay the night at the Hyatt that's across the street from Q Sciences headquarters. We go to headquarters and we had a meeting with head of FFM, Sarah Spencer. How many of you guys have had your financial freedom movement coach meeting? If you guys do not know, from the moment that you get started with Q, you have access to a financial coach. Do not miss this opportunity. Okay. Let me tell you something. How many of you guys, you have in your head, you know your destination? How many of you guys have a dream board? How many of you guys know you're like in your head, you're like, if I could go bronze, let me tell you, if I could go bronze, like that would change things for me. If I could make $1,700 a month, like that would make a big impact. That would maybe replace my full-time income. Maybe that would bring in an extra income. Maybe my spouse could stop working overtime. I could pay off my credit card, my student loans. Like that would really mean something to me. So when you have the FFM, you guys, so Sarah Spencer's Jake's wife, she is a certified financial coach, and she started going over FFM to us, and not just different, like we literally were just asking all sorts of different financial questions. But if you guys have a goal, you're going to be making money and you're going to reach your goal. But I cannot tell you how many times in this industry as a leader, I've seen people say, oh, my goal is executive, and they hit executive and they fall off the face of the earth, because they just think that they're like one time hitting this goal is like, okay. And then they just stop. They stop showing up. What the FFM is going to allow you to do is to set up these financial goals. So it keeps you working. It keeps you focused. It keeps you in momentum. And not only you, but it helps someone else. Because here's the crazy thing is that this business, I know you got started for you. I know you did. I know you got started for your bills and your food on your table, and, to put food in your kids' mouths and your own debt. But your success has absolutely nothing to do with you. Your success is a game of how many people can I help reach their goals. That's how you're going to be successful in this business, is by helping a whole bunch of other people become who they're supposed to become. Okay. And so if we're going to do other trainings later on about FFM and how you guys can start talking about that and what that looks like, because you guys should absolutely be talking about FFM several times a week to build this business, because they don't teach us in school how to become financial literate. They taught me how to bake a cake, and how to read music notes, but they don't teach us self-love and they don't teach us how to take care of ourselves financially, which is freaking stupid. Okay. So, we met with Sarah Spencer and we sat down in a huge group of 40 people and we just asked a bunch of different questions, what kind of credit cards we should have, what kind of savings accounts we should have, how to save so we can do things, how we can invest in how we can invest into our teams. It was absolutely incredible. Okay. Algebra isn't helping my taxes right now. Literally. Amen. Yeah. We use calculators. Like who cares, right? Common Core, what? We don't even know. So then they took us in vans and we went to the lodge. We drove 2 hours up into literally the mountains. We had to park at the bottom of a mountain and drive a side by side. I don't know if you guys have ever seen my stories. We have a side by side, which is like a souped up golf cart that had snowmobile tracks because there was so much snow and it's so dry. So it's powder. You can't even walk on it because you just sink. It was up to my waist. And we had to take trips, loads of people up to the lodge. You guys, the lodge is ginormous and it is beautiful. The view is absolutely breathtaking and it is just covered in snow and it's not always covered in snow. Okay. Wow. Like, wow. All of the corporate staff was there. You guys, they were cooking for us. They were making us meals. They were helping us with anything that we need. It was like literally the craziest experience ever. And there's a bajillion bedrooms with king size beds and queen size bunk beds. It was like the biggest bunk beds I've ever seen in my life. And so you're rooming with other people, you're getting to know them. Yes, there's enough bathrooms, all of those things. So don't freak out if you guys are ever going to be going at Silver Summit. There was always snacks laid out. And so we started to go through training, and night one, we sat down with Mark Wilson. You guys, he is our CEO. Wow. That man is amazing. And you want to know what's really incredible is, he started to share with us a little bit of his experience just in life. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. That's pretty freaking cool. Considering we just had the Super Bowl. I mean, you guys know there was 115 million people watching the Super Bowl in the US just this last weekend. And he's been to 2 of them. He knows how to win. And it is so special to have someone of such talent, such connections, because it's not necessarily about what you know, it's about who you know. We knowing someone who can help you get to where you want to go. He's the one that met Dr. Kimberly, who formulated our products. How many of you guys love our products? I'm so obsessed with Q Core. I sent a video to Sheree today and I was like, dude, look at my stomach. It's crazy. I don't even know. Yeah. I mean, the twist, I got to hide it from Will now because now Will's addicted to the berry smoothie twist because it is so freaking good. But here's some of the things that Mark had said during our time. I'm not going to read it all, but the reason why Q has evolved so much, the reason why we have a innovative compensation plan. There's no compensation plan in the world that's like ours. The reason why our products continue to get better, the reason why we have Q Home, the reason why we're going to be having 70 brand new products throughout this whole entire year is because Mark said, here's the thing, here we're going to risk being good to be great, because unfortunately being good just wouldn't be good enough for me and for you. And I think that that is very special because I feel like for a long, long time, not to dog where I was, but I was in a space where I wanted to grow and I wanted to be stretched, because being the best in the room, you guys, you don't want to be the best in the room. You want to be the worst in the room, surrounded by people who are a heck of a lot better than you, because you're going to be forced to level up and you're going to be forced to grow. And when your CEO is sitting here saying that unfortunately good is just not good enough and that you must be great, that means a lot. And I can tell you that he said these things several times with tears in his eyes. And the reason why is because it's from personal experience. That is who you want leading you. People who have personal experience, people who have had skin in the game, because it's different if I'm a mom of 3 and you're a mom and you're looking at me and you're saying, but Jade, I'm tired, but Jade, I'm spread thin, but I'm stressed out, but I'm fighting with my spouse and all these things. And I'm able to look at you in the eyes and say, yes, I know, but this is how you're going to get through it. And this is why it matters. It's going to feel completely different because you know that I've been there. And that is how you're able to coach people through things. Your goal in this business to be a leader, you guys, is to know how to get customers and ambassadors and to be able to turn around and teach someone else how to do the exact same thing. But to become a really good leader, there's so much more than that. It's the personal life experiences. What else do you do in this business? Well, you deal with organizing your schedule, organizing your time, trying to grow yourself, trying to become self-confident, trying to grow your self-love, maintaining a relationship with your partner, with your kids, growing a relationship with your team, with your leaders, learning how to juggle. You're like trying to post and message and enroll people. And then all of a sudden now you're enrolling people. So how many of you guys feel that, right? You're juggling many different things, and a good leader learns how to do the juggle and turns around and teaches their team how to juggle. I always used to say that being a leader is just me being first in the jungle, and I just have the machete and I'm just chopping crap down and making a path for everybody else to follow. So if you're wondering why things are hard for you, if you're wondering why things are tricky for you, it's because we're all a little bit in the wilderness right now. So here's the deal. You can either sink or you can swim. You can chop things down. You can go through the river, and then when you go through the river, just yell back to your team and tell them not to go that way. Stop being so upset and sad or frustrated that you're going through the hard things. It's the hard things. It's the rough seas that make for a skilled sailor. That's very, very important. Sometimes we have to stop asking ourselves, why me? And just turn around and say, okay, how can I learn from this? Because this is going to be happening regardless. Let's see. We have councils. Let's see. We were talking about character. He talked a lot about character. And that's why, one of the nights we talked about the 5 F's. And part of our 5 F's is our family, right? Faith is number 1, family number 2. And I want you guys to know that this means a lot to me, because when I first started my business 10 years ago, I came in like a bat out of hell, to be honest with you. How many of you guys feel like that? Like I already explained, my life was in such shambles. I needed, this had to work for me because I had already couponed and did all that stuff. And I already learned that that was not a long-term plan. I had already sold everything, right, in my house. And coming into this, I had no guidance because I didn't have an upline. My upline that was only in it for 2 weeks, she quit 2 weeks after I got started. So I really was navigating everything by myself. Part of the problem with that is that I didn't have anyone there to guide me. And so what I ended up doing was kind of bulldozing through my marriage and my family a little bit. There was no one telling me, hey, pencil people in, have a date night with your spouse. Make sure you're getting good sleep. Make sure you take care of yourself. I just was kind of like a chicken with my head cut off for a really, really, really long time. And I'll never regret how hard I worked in the things that I did, but I also could have not left such a big mess, because at some point it affected my marriage so hard, about 2.5, 3 years in. And there's no amount of success and there's no amount of money that's worth more than your family. Your family is number 1. And so the fact that our CEO sat there and said to us that Q Sciences will never be the reason why your marriage fails. It will be why it becomes stronger. And so we have these 5 F's: finances and faith and family and friends and fitness, these things that they seem so simple, but they cause us to level up. I'm going to tell you guys something, a little secret. It was so simple, but it was so impactful that when we came home, if you guys don't know Will, I like say he's the peanut butter to my jelly. We are 2 different human beings. Like, we could not be more different. Does anybody know Will? We are different. I am loud. He is quiet, right? He concentrates. I don't. Okay. We're very different people. But when he came home and he grabbed our products and said, okay, how can I take these? What are they going to do for me? Because he started to get it. When our CEO started talking about how just these being good, this is why we're constantly enhancing things, because good just isn't good enough. So if there's something better, we're going to continue to move forward to be great. And the journey to greatness, there just never is an end. It's ever evolving, which is very refreshing, because I've already been in a place where I felt stuck for a really long time. And I can tell you guys, you would rather have a journey that's going to continue on to keep going than be stuck in a place, because that is not fulfilling. You will never feel fulfilled because life goes on. Does that make sense? So let's see. One of the most important things that they talked about was about your character. And I want you guys to really think about this. And I'm going to say this in terms too of who you're going to attract. So they said, you will attract people who are just like you. Okay. So choose to be of high character. Choose to be a person that people are going to want to be around. And this is what I want you guys to think about. When you come to me, I'm going to say this, this might ruffle feathers, but I don't care. Like, I'm not here to pat your back. I want you guys to grow. And sometimes we have to hold ourselves accountable. So I'm going to hold you accountable, hold me accountable, and we're going to do it together. If your team was full of a whole bunch of you, how would your team be? That can suck. Super fun, Courtney. Okay. Think about that. How are you intertwining the space and time for your faith? I don't care what you believe in, just believe in something. That's what I love about our company so much. Okay. How would, if your team was full of a whole bunch of you, how would they be treating their family? How would you be treating your business? How serious would you be taking it? You know, this morning I listened to a podcast by Mel Robbins, and it was called The Millionaire Morning. I was telling Saray about this, and I was like, you know, I've hated everybody who talks about the 5 a.m. club. You're not going to check. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. We're going to see what happens. God, I hate waking up early. It is just the worst thing ever. But Mel Robbins said this morning, she said, you know, first of all, there's scientific proof behind waking up when your alarm goes off. It's not about waking up early. It's about waking up when your alarm goes off, because you have a circadian rhythm. Your body has the chemicals that are going on inside of you. And every time you press snooze and you fall back asleep, even if it's for 4 minutes, your body starts getting put into a sleep cycle. That sleep cycle is supposed to last at least 75 minutes. And I don't remember what she was saying, something about like 4 hours. But what happens is if you press snooze and you start to fall back asleep, you actually mess up your time frame for the next 4 hours. Oh, I think it's because that's supposed to be like your full sleep cycle. So when I did UPW, when I did Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins, and they were saying you only need 4 hours of sleep and you actually would be fully functional. That's why, because you're completing, I believe it's 2 sleep cycles. So she said, she was talking about sleep inertia and how we literally screw ourselves over every single day by pressing snooze instead of just getting up and starting to seize the day. And something that she said that was really profound to me is she said, you know, there were people last night that didn't wake up this morning. I don't know if you guys know, but Dave Hollis passed away. That's Rachel Hollis's husband. Ex-husband, I should say. And I don't really care too much for Rachel Hollis, but her husband, or ex-husband, was extraordinary. He was incredible. And this weekend he passed away in his sleep. We don't know. We have no idea what's going to happen. My daughter got sick a year and a half ago. Just all my kids got sick, and for whatever reason, she got extra sick. And then all of a sudden, one day, her eyes started turning in and her eyes started going crossed, and we took her into the hospital. And next thing you know, they're telling me that there's a mass on her brain and that she has blood clots and that she's got high intracranial pressure. She has a 6th cranial nerve palsy. Her eyes are going to be crossed forever for the rest of her life. She will now be considered special needs. I mean, it happened just like this. We have no control over what's going to happen. And I get that. That is what shook me to decide to make a huge move in my life, because my happiness and me living my best life is the most important thing for everybody. You living your best life is the best thing for everybody. It's good for you. It's good for me. It's good for us. It's good for all of us. And when she said that there's people who did not wake up last night, this morning, and you had the audacity to press snooze on your life, I went and made my bed today. That's a big deal. I never make my bed. I don't know the last time I made my bed. It's probably been at least 15 years. You want to know who makes the bed? Will, because I told you we are different people. But listening to that, and understanding, not just like someone telling you to, it's not about waking up early. It's about holding yourself accountable, and that sleep inertia thing. Cause I have an inertia problem. How many of you guys identify with this, that we have the best ideas, we have the best intentions, and you do it for 2 or 3 days and then you stop. You're literally pressing snooze in every single area of your life. And it's completely just procrastination. And it sucks. I'm trying to pull up my notes because I took notes of it. She said, we have the audacity to continue to press snooze when the alarm clock goes off just because we're tired. And she said, do you know why we're tired? Because instead of focusing on what we want, we continuously focus on the weight of the hardness. But in reality, the hardness, the resistance, is what makes us strong enough to be able to have the incredible life that we want. Think about that. Okay, so the next parts of the day, you guys, this was crazy wild, and I'm so excited to train you guys on this because there's just no freaking way that I'll be able to go over this. But Jake sat down and he trained us. So we went through the difference between an MLM mindset and a business mindset. The MLM mindset is get them in, get them out, get them in quick because they're going to get out quick. How many of you guys understand that? You're like, I was a mass recruiter because I had to be, because I would get a customer this month and then they would be gone the next. I would get a distributor into my team and they would be gone a month later. So you were just on this constant hamster wheel of just trying to get people in. He said people with an MLM mindset celebrate success way too early. People with a business mindset understand that you are the magic, that you are the magic in your business. People with a business mindset understand that it's going to take 6 months, 3 to 6 months to create a huge momentum to hit your goals of consistency. And that after you hit that goal, you have to continue it on after that. People with an MLM mindset are super poor with money. Do you guys see why we have financial freedom movement? I went to Disney and I'm pretty sure I spent $60,000 at Disney. I'm not kidding you guys. It's so stupid. So dumb. It's more money. It's like twice as what we made in a year because we were just like a kid in a candy store. Now we have savings and all those things and whatever, life insurance and all that stuff. We've definitely seen people be more dumb, but how many of you guys, if you are going to make $700 a month with this business, you want to make sure that it impacts you, not just today, but also it makes tomorrow easier? Hello. I paid off $30,000 worth of debt because I was like, I don't know if this business is going to work for me, but if I can make next month easier, like if it only lasts 6 months, if I can like pay off the debt and make months from now easier and just take that weight away, like I will do that, you know? Jake, anything you want to say? Oh, wait.
Sorry, Thiago's apparently sick now. Something that I wanted to mention that you had mentioned with the 5 F's is like, you can definitely see the difference here, you guys, of how upside down it is. Before, like, people were like, use your why as, or whatever your reasoning to start this business and have that be your priority. But ultimately, like, your business was always your priority. And then you were miserable. You were miserable working your business. You were miserable in your household, in your marriage, in your finances, in your faith, and all the F's. It was like as if it was the opposite. But I feel like here, and even hearing Will and Jade this weekend, mentioning about how you focus on that being your priority, and that alone trickles into everything else. Because even when she was saying that, she's like, they're going to make me work out because you have to experience the 5 F's. And she's like, after you're working out, how do you guys feel? Incredible, right? And so those are things that as you're experiencing and making sure that you're putting that as a priority, like all of that will trickle into your happiness and how you present yourself in your business and how you're like showing up. And then if your kids are taken care of, if you're like your spouse is also being taken care of and your faith is also being taken care of, like all of those things are meant to be priorities for a reason. And that's what makes you you. And then that is what helps you show up in your business even much more excited. And it doesn't feel like work because you're also feeling like, you're not, right now the Spanish word is coming into my mind, like that you're focusing on these things and you're not letting it be the last thing on your to-do list, that you need to put it on priority. And then the other thing, I think there was something else that you mentioned. It'll come back to me, but that was something that I wanted to mention that you said about the 5 Fs.
Well, and Jake said, here's the deal. The 5 Fs, if you guys don't know them: faith, family, finances, fitness, friends. Is that all of them? 5? He said, they force you to level up. If not, you'll be spat out. And I'm telling you, there were people by the end of the retreat that were crying because they were so nervous and like intimidated. They're like, oh my God, here's the deal. When is the last time that all at the same time you held room for yourself as a priority, your family, friendships, your money? A lot of people have a lot of money pain, a lot of money issues and conditioning that we're going to have to work through. A lot of us don't even want to open up our bills because we're scared of what's inside of them. Fitness, like Surrey said, I mean, I worked out at 7,000 feet above or 8,000 feet above sea level. Holy crap. Was that like just a very crazy experience? But just like she said, I mean, I worked out 45 days straight before Lennox got sick. And it wasn't even about my appearance that made me so excited and so happy. It was like how I felt. I kind of like joke. I mean, I'm not really joking about it. How I felt working out was how I feel now when I take Q Core, which is the reason why. How many of you guys take Q Core? If you do not take Q Core, you go and you set up your auto ship, which by the way, you guys, tomorrow's the last day for your auto ship to have your auto ship to set up to run this month. And the reason why you want to have your orders on auto ship is because we get points back. Get money back. Hello. What are you doing? You get the points back. And as you continue on to, you can order on random, like without subscription, but if you're going to order anyways, put it on subscription so you can get your points back so you can get free things. We're releasing 70 products. Get free toothpaste, get free body care. You see what I'm saying? Just letting you guys know. Okay. But when is the last time you held all of these things at the same time? We don't. We barely hold one of them. So when he said it's going to force you to level up, now listen, like, don't freak out about it. Don't like, oh my God, I'm going to be a bodybuilder and I'm going to like run and stuff. I'm not telling you to like be miserable, but what I'm telling you is to start with baby steps. What if this weekend you sit down and you plan out your week? What if this weekend you look at your spouse and you say, hey, I want to have a dedicated night. I don't care what we do. Date nights healed my marriage. I was about to get divorced, y'all. And I told my husband, I did not want to. I was like, well, let's date. I hated it. And we sat on opposite sides of the room and we started watching. What did we start watching? We started watching a show, American Horror Stories or something really stupid. And we didn't even talk to each other. We didn't look at each other. I hated it. But very slowly but surely, we started becoming friends again. And I started to get to know my husband again. And then we started having fun. And it became a very healing time to look at each other in the eyes and to remember, because I don't want my kids to leave someday and then I'm just a roommate with this person who I don't recognize anymore. It would be really sad. So what if this is the week you look at your spouse, even if you guys hang out and date all the time and you just say, listen, I want to prioritize this time with you and we're going to have pizza. I don't care if we lay in bed. We're going to do something that's consistent. What if you look at your kids? How many of you guys like the hustle and the bustle and you ask yourself, okay, what is the craziness that's happening in my house? That's why I started meal prepping, because this taking 2 hours a week on a Sunday to make all of the meals, lunch and dinner for my family for the whole freaking week changed everything. I didn't have to fight about people about what we're eating. I didn't have to stress about making meals. I didn't have to stress about cleaning anything up. I didn't have to stress about who's going what, where, and what games, what sports, and whatever. My husband comes home late. He just pops something in the microwave. I didn't have to stress about just eating fast food and then eating it and feeling guilty and then feeling like crap because lo and behold, here I am allergic to freaking everything that I eat. What can you do How can you hold yourselves accountable starting this weekend or whenever you want to, if you feel moved to start making smarter decisions for your life, to start tackling things? What if you stopped pressing snooze? What if as soon as your kids come home, you plug your phone in and you spend intentional time? You're not fighting with them. You're not like, you're not doing this all night long. Go play basketball. Go play bubbles outside. Play with them. Do the sports, do the things. And as soon as they hit their heads on their pillows, you come down and you set yourself up for success. You stop procrastinating. Where was it? Did I write it down? God, I heard it. It said oh my God. I didn't take notes. I was earlier today, my iCloud is like extremely full. And so I couldn't even download a video. And I was going through, and you guys, I saw this picture, and it's so funny because here I am today, just so happened to be watching a video from Mel Robbins all about procrastination and hitting snooze and having a millionaire morning, and how this just sets the tone for your whole day and how it'll literally change things for you. And I found a fortune cookie. I always laughed and said that God would talk to me through fortune cookies, because I've had some listen, I had a fortune cookie that said, you will never, what did it say? You will never struggle with money a day in your life. And I was like, oh my God, okay. Okay. But it said procrastination is the fear of success. And I had that fortune cookie in 2000, it was September 16th of 2015. And I found it today. I don't even think that was for me at that point, because I didn't procrastinate. I was very seasoned in what I was doing, but I was a very different person. I was 25 with one kid. I mean, my life was so different. How many of you guys are procrastinating because you're scared? It's like not wanting to try out for American Idol because in the back of your brain, you're really, really good. And you're like, but what if I win? How many of you guys are scared to win? You're like, I don't post because what if they message me? What if it works? Then what? What if I'm not good enough to set people up for success? What if I don't know how to onboard them? That's what procrastination is. And if that's a thing, and I enrolled you, you better message me so we can fix that. Okay. Let's see. Okay. We did training on habits. I'm not going to run through them. I just want you guys to see the things that we trained on. Okay. We trained, and then I'll tell you guys something that's going to make you pucker your butt. Cause I was not okay. I literally had the nervous diarrhea because I was just scared. Just wait until I tell you guys what I had to do. Oh my God. We went over, strategy for building your business, strategy for building your team. As you guys start to build and grow, where to work, where you should invest money and do giveaways and invest your time, and where you should build and who you should be building with, what you should be doing. You guys, the fact that we have training on this is monumental. I had to train myself for almost 10 years via YouTube from other random humans. The fact that our corporate does this is absolutely insane. Hi, go to bed. No. Give me a kiss. Love you. Nope. You were eating candy. Maybe that's why you can't fall asleep. Don't tell me you didn't, because your mouth is blue. Quit eating candy. Go tell your dad you want to go to bed. I love you. Goodbye. Love you. Okay. What else did we do? Okay. We talked about duplication. We talked about different kinds of people. 3 different kinds of people: educators, promoters, and recruiters. Learning how to identify them. I'll kind of run through it a little bit. Well, I'm going to do in-depth training, skills trainings every single week for you guys, so that way you guys can learn these things. Because you guys, literally, Jake just kept talking about John Wick, which I think is does anybody know who John Wick is? He's assassin, whatever. He goes, it's crazy. Here's the crazy thing, you guys, being in this business for a really, really long time and having 100,000 people on my team and all these things, I've faced a lot of hard things. And so then when he's in here, training us on certain things and then showing how it attaches to the compensation plan, and it just blows my mind because I'm oh my God, I couldn't have done this better myself. And then he talks about how he You guys, like everything is set up truly for us to have success. I just can't handle it. Okay. So here's three different kinds of people. Okay. And when you can identify who you are, you'll learn how to fly. You'll learn how to be, what to focus on, how to build. When you can identify people on your team, like Saray is an educator, 100%. When you can identify people on your team, you can teach them how to fly. This business is about, like I said before, it's about living your best life. It's about finding out who you are and getting in tune with that. And I feel like the world tells us like I was always told, you're too loud, you talk too much. So I stopped talking because I felt like I was too loud and too much and too this and too that. But at the end of the day, those things are the things that made me a millionaire. So think for a second at the things that people have told you to stop doing. You're too this, you're too quiet, you're too nice, you're too this. And maybe that's just your superpower. Maybe when people tell you that you're too much or too whatever, that's the thing that you should hone, because that's actually your skill. And that's the most messed up thing. That's why people like unschool and homeschool and stuff like that, because they don't like how we're like controlled to be like these weird robots. I want you guys to be able to self-identify and be able to become the best version of you, which is what Jake was teaching us, which just made my heart happy. Okay. Educators are knowledgeable. They think long-term. They are not emotionally driven. They're very green personalities. They love product. They're super good at explaining things. They are the glue of your team. Those are some positive traits. They're very good with training, with processes, with systems, really good topics for educators to train on. Compliance, system, tools, resources, anything that's really, really hard, because they pay a lot of attention to things, and they're very safe, and they're very great, and they're slow and steady. Okay. Yes, that's what I said, Saray, 100%. But here's some of the challenges. And this is what I love too, because if you can identify your challenges, you can learn how to work with them. That they tend to overthink. They talk themselves out of things. Sometimes they tend to be more high customer enrollers instead of focusing on helping other people. Saray's getting the hate in the comments. Not really though. Maria said definitely Saray. Sometimes they tend to be high customer enrollers instead of understanding that they're here for greater purpose, for maybe helping people enroll. They're less forgiving and empathetic. They don't have a lot of relationships. They can be loners. They like to know things before they act. Ignorance on fire is not a thing. Let's see. They are very by the book. They can talk a lot. Sometimes it can drive people away how green they are. That they like to educate to convert people. But the problem is that education doesn't attach to emotion. You guys, people are going to join this business for emotional reasons. And so we always want to try to think of the emotions. Okay. So those are educators. How many of you guys hearing that, you're like, damn, I think I'm an educator. Okay. Promoters. They are the party. Okay. Courtney Van Auken is a promoter. Okay. They will get everyone to the event. They will get when they're excited, people are excited. Okay. They keep it simple. They have the best stories. They're the best storytellers. They get buy-in from people. Okay. They create FOMO, but here's the deal. You will crush them if you lead with fear. You cannot lead with fear with promoters, not the vibe. You got to lead with vision, with excitement. Okay. They're very easily motivated and they're ambitiously lazy. They would rather hang out than promote up. They want to be with other people. So you have to learn how to work with this. Really good topics for promoters to talk about is events. I wrote this. Jake said this. He goes, you will punish a promoter if you make them talk about products. They are incredible at planning, at being around other people. They are incredible with recruiting, with the comp plan. They love making money. They're very, very excited. But here's the challenges. They're bored very easily. They are the first people to leave. If they're bored, they're out. They're very scattered. They can be the first to quit. If a promotion drops and if it's not fun, they're just not jazzed about it. They operate in the gray. They can operate in the gray area, which can be really hard because educators don't like gray area things. And they drive educators bonkers. But recruiters are very forgiving and sometimes too forgiving. Like if I'm a promoter and I enroll someone who keeps not showing up late or not showing up at all, they have a hard time holding people accountable because they always want to see the best in people to a fault. Okay. And you guys, I want you to know I tried Googling these terms because it's just like blew my freaking mind because I've never heard any of these things in my life and you cannot find them on Google. So like, okay, crazy. All right. And the last we have recruiters. All right. Recruiters recruit. They pump up volume. They are chameleons. They can be around different kinds of people, different kinds of attitudes, different kinds, and they just chameleon with the people that they are with. They are fast. Let's see. So they are most coachable. They love the grind. They set the expectations of when to turn off and turn on. You can get them excited about making money. They are motivated by the fear of loss, where promoters are not. Don't even go there. Recruiters are motivated by the fear of loss. I am a recruiter. I didn't even have to talk. And Jake was like, I know exactly who you are. Topics that are really good for recruiters, making money, training on recruiting, things that are very, very high level and energetic. Okay. But they're the first to burn out. They're late to everything. They're not on time. They do not pay attention to detail at all. They are not detail oriented. They will not chase you. They will replace you. Okay. If you are too extra, they will be done. No-show people are, oh, what was this? No-show people are the no-show. I don't remember what I was going on with that. Let's see. He said this though. Levi, go to bed. Huh? Tell your dad. He is available. Your dad knows where the medicine is. It's crazy. Crazy to think. Go. No. Go tell your dad, please. Love you. Okay. He said that he would choose a rookie recruiter. Oh, what is this what he said? I wrote rookie recruiter over a seasoned promoter or educator. You want to find your recruiters, your guys. You don't need to be a recruiter. This isn't about becoming somebody else. It's about you being good at who you are. So if you're not like a high level recruiter, it's about you learning how to find the recruiters, because the recruiters in your team are going to be the ones that dump in the people. They're going to be the ones that dump in the volume. Anyways, but this whole concept literally blew my mind. So then the whole rest of the time we couldn't sleep because we're just staring at people trying to figure out what they were. Promoters talk. I mean, I talk with my hands, but whatever. Promoters talk a lot with their hands. So what we were doing, you guys, let me tell you what I had to do. Do I have it here? We did like placement training, all these things. We had to present the freaking opportunity call. It's called QIQ, like your IQ on Q Sciences, in front of everybody, in front of Jake, the person who made it. I was unwell. Okay. Everybody was very scared. Everyone was very nervous. But one of the coolest things that we did, which I will be doing with you guys, I think I might have uploaded this exact same file. He went through every single slide and gave us exactly what we should be saying for every single slide. I slayed it. I was like so excited. I've been doing it for quite a while. And then what we had was every single person had to stand up at the front and we had 30 seconds to go through each slide. 30 seconds. That's it. And what was so crazy is we saw firsthand, it would be like Saray coming up and feeling like, you know, she has to be super excited and telling all these stories. That's a promoter, and Saray's not a promoter. Where Saray flies is where she's an educator. And for her doing this, what's going to make her feel the best is if she is sitting here being super informative to other people. Where if Courtney was up here and she's a promoter and she tells stories, we would see people who thought that they had to be this like super educator, right? So they would be sitting here and they would be talking about our hemp line and all the different features in BioSync and how it's biodegradable and blah, 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 blah. And they would just fumble and they would talk too long and it was weird and it was awkward. And Jake literally took the papers away and he goes, tell a story. That is what I want you to do for this slide. And so then next thing you know, you have people standing up here. Well, let me tell you guys about our CBD and our hemp. So my husband, and blah, 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 30 seconds of just amazingness. That is what this is about. It's about, that's what he talks about when he's like, you're going to become an assassin, like, you're going to come in here and you're going to kung fu your business, but in the way that you're supposed to. And that's what I love, because Jake said that, you know, this business, what did he say? I wrote it down. He said that this business isn't about selling like this incredible compensation plan and all this stuff. It's about helping people level up. And that is what we do, you guys. Not just level up with money. I've already leveled up with money. That's cool. But like, that's not life fulfilling. How many of you guys want to level up in all areas of your life? And when you focus on just the 5 of them, you're going to clean every room of the house with every single one of them. And you want to know what's so cool? For a company who sits here and says, fitness is fitness is important to us. Well, you want to know what? They have the proof in the pudding, because we all have access to the MyQFit app free as ambassadors. That's how serious they are about you just taking care of yourself. Go for a brisk walk. Walk like you're late for 10 minutes. Go do that. That's going to help you more than nothing. Okay. For a company that says, yeah, your finances are super important to us, you're going to make all the money here. When they give you a free financial coach and you don't even make a dime yet, that says something. Everything that they say that they're about, they are about. And I can promise you guys that if you write on a piece of paper, it's the irony of this document. If you take a piece of paper, you know, and you write down faith, family, do you know, Courtney, just like think about it. Finances, fitness, friends. I don't remember. I can't remember the last order because I just know that the faith and the family, and just write those things down and you put them on your wall. Oh my gosh, Lucy's freaking out. You put them on your wall and I want you to just look at them and just say, how can I grow my faith? Maybe you don't have any yet. That's fine. I'm not trying to convert you to anything. Maybe start with self-love. Maybe start with self-confidence, abundance, unsucking yourself, growing your brain. Start there. That will lead you wherever you're supposed to go, right? When you see family, sit here and ask yourself, okay, when is the last time I've been intentional in any sort of way? You know, how, like I said before, how can I pencil people in? Let's just do it for 5 days, right? These things will level you up. When's the last time I just sat and hung out with a friend? I literally will make sure I call my mom, because my mom and I are on this brand new journey. We literally had 0 relationship for a very long time until I moved to Tennessee, which is like annoying because now we don't live by each other at all, but it's actually pretty amazing. And I'm like re-getting to know my mom, but as like an adult. It's strange because I also have a 12-year-old little sister. So my mom had my little sister, weird, when I was 21. So Levi and my little sister are only 2 years apart. They're 1 grade apart. And so I'm getting to know my mom on a completely different level. And I will just call her so we can talk for an hour and a half and like laugh and just like tell stories about situations that we were both there, but like from our perspectives, and read it. Like it's so, and I have an older sister. I do. I never talk about her. Whatever. She's from my dad, which I never talk about him either because I haven't seen him since I was 7. What an interesting life, right? But anyways, hang out with people who are not just in this business, or make sure that you're talking to people not just about business, because you need to also have a life outside of Q. Okay. So think about those things. Let's see. We went over, this is like higher level. We went over placement. We went over, oh, you guys, I'm going to tell you this one because this one blew my mind. The fact that they spit this out, I was like, are you kidding me? What is this company I'm with? Damn, this is good. Okay. They told us our demographics. So like the average, like information of the people who are with Q. So that way, you know who to target. I was like, are they telling us right? This is an amazing strategy. This is great. Okay. So the average age, now listen, if you're younger and this is not your demographic, all I'm telling you, all I'm going to ask you is, are you marketable to your demographic? Okay. You don't need to be these things in order to be marketable to them. It's, you just got to keep in mind the things that you're talking about, which, just so you know, faith, family, finances, fitness, and friends are important to your demographic. So maybe if you start living that lifestyle of just keeping those things and holding them as importantly and sharing those things, you will automatically be hitting your target market. That's what I'm talking about when I'm like, Jake comes in here like a kung fu ninja and is like, bam, 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 talk about the 5 F's. You'll be happier. And then you'll attract great people. And then you plug them into our bomb ass compensation plan. And then all of a sudden everybody's bam, bam, bam. It's like the craziest thing of my whole life, the journey of all this. Okay. The average age of our customers and ambassadors is 30 to 45, which is really funny because I'm literally the target demographic. Here I am. Okay. 85% are female, which I got to say, I love that we have such a large male presence. I love to see, like I said, Will was changed from this. You guys, Will's like, he's got like a beard and wears like plaid and it's like a carpenter and it's like hunts and stuff. And like, he's like, you know, that kind of guy. And so for him, it's like his own genre, right? It's like the hot beard thing. But you know what I mean? Like he's like the wilderness guy, like something breaks and I just make it fixed and whatever. Okay. We have space for men here. And I love that. So Tennessee man, there you go. Okay. But I want you guys to know that. So this isn't, I come from a company where it was very weight loss pretty much. And it was not a space that I just don't think that men felt very, very, comfortable. And we have such a large, I don't know what the percentage is. Was that 15? Is that 85, 15, something? Oh, am I doing math? I don't know. Okay. Education. They have a college degree of some sort or higher. I would say college or trade. I didn't go to college, but I went to trade school. So did Will. Okay. On average, they have 3 kids. I literally am the target demographic. This is amazing. And the highest age on average is 14. Crazy, right? So the question is, are you marketable to your target market? Oh, he said, most people wish that they had, a better manage on their financial outlook, that the top 2 reasons why people get divorced. This was really incredible that they were sharing this for 2 things. Because they're not having enough doing it time, if you know what I'm saying. And then also that there's over money. Sex and money is the number 1 reasons why people get divorced. And this is also why we have our 5 F's. And so thinking about these things, and like I said, we'll go into more strategy. I see you guys taking notes, which is so cool because I haven't even trained on anything. But thinking about these things, how many of you guys, even if maybe you're not 30, but thinking of these things, thinking of the 5 F's or whatever, how many of you guys are realizing like that stuff's pretty important to me too? I just had no idea how to go about it. So like I said, I want to invite you guys to write down those 5 F's, maybe on a piece of paper or maybe on like a notebook, maybe have a page per F, and just start to kind of journal out a little bit. Like, what does it mean to you? What are some ideas of what you can do to just take them a little bit more seriously, to make time for them? What if you guys downloaded the MyQFit app and you message your personal trainer? Just so you guys know, you message a real person. You message a real personal trainer, tell them about you, tell them your lifestyle, tell them what you don't like, tell them what you do. Oh, Tina. Oh, it's funny. Tell them all about you and let them help you come up with a plan for you. And you want to know what's crazy? They also have like a self-love challenge. I found out for everybody who's about to be silver and above, or when you go silver and above, you can hold challenges for your team. And so it takes about 30 days to do this. And I plan on doing this. This is not just like a fitness challenge. It's like an accountability challenge. So it can be for, like affirmation time, for working out, for whatever it is that we want to do. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that. Right. But I want you guys to just journal about these things. Just think about it. Oh, Leanne. Oh my God. Okay. I can't because it'll be distracting. But I just want you guys to really think about these things, because when I came home, I messaged Jake and I just thanked him for inviting us to, his lodge, and that I was grateful, and how when we came home, Will was grabbed like High Performance Habits, like a freaking book. Will does not read, and he's using our products, and he just has more pep in his step. And Jake said, he said to me, that's the most important thing. And so I want you guys to know that you growing and you changing, this doesn't have to be a struggle. Like, I looked at my dream board as like a tug of war almost. How many of you guys feel like this? Like, you're like, I'm growing and I'm changing, but my husband's not, or my wife's not. And so you feel like you're in 2 different places. And then you're just wondering, like, is this crap even going to work? And you want to grow and they're cranky or whatever. Like, this business, Q, is not about a tug of war of what's most important. And that's what I felt like for a long time. Q is about all of these things that are so, so, so important being held up together, like I've already explained. And that if you can just grab those simple things for what they are for you and you share them, you will attract incredible people into your business. That's why they talk about finding leaders. Do you guys know why we do presentations? It's to find leaders. And what I mean by that isn't like, oh, I'm going to go recruit people from other people's companies. That's not what I mean. Finding leaders is like when I dove down into my team and I found Courtney. She was already there, right? She had enrolled less than 20 or something ambassadors onto her team, and she wasn't exploding and growing. She was already there. It was just pinpointing and being able to grow and run with her and teach her how to recruit like a crazy person, how to grow, how to be efficient, right? And so that's what all of this stuff is, you guys, is learning how to strategically. Strategy, you guys, is going to save you time and energy. Strategy can be taught. One of the things that Jake said this weekend is he said, duplication is BS. He said, duplication is this rah thing that MLMs teach you, that if you can whatever, then blah, blah, blah. He said, because you can't duplicate talent. You cannot duplicate talent. But what you can duplicate is skills, which is why I'm going to teach you how to present, which is why we're going to teach you how to recruit. We're going to teach you how to onboard people. Because I saw all walks of life, all different backgrounds. Like, I saw it. And yeah, I know. And I was a part of a company that duplication was a huge thing. But then why is there only some people making money and then everybody else is struggling? Well, it's because if you weren't, 5'3" and 115 pounds and wearing a bikini on a beach, dancing around saying your gut's being healed, you couldn't enroll customers because you felt like that was the only way that you could enroll a customer. But what I want you guys to know is that the real skill is going out into the world and talking about the things that are important to you. Hop into your DMs and tell people that you think that they are incredible and that you think that they would be good at something. Show them the opportunity call. Let that seal the deal. Let your upline help you learn how to launch people and repeat. See how that's different? It has nothing to do with necessarily being super good at making like TikToks and reels or like being the most beautiful or the most the white couch and the blah, because all that's just superficial garbage, because what's underneath it? Then what? So only if if that's all, that's it. If your hair is down to your butt and you wear string bikinis or whatever, like you're the only ones that can win. I'm just saying, and now your target audience. So if you're not, does anybody have any questions so far? So what do you do if you are not your target demographic? Remember these things. The 5 F's are important to your target demographic, period. So talk about those. Find your people. My target, it's like funny because when I was 24, I was enrolling 24-year-olds. And then as I've aged, like I can see my insights on Instagram, and my insights, they're the same age as me. It's not because it's because I talk about the things that are relevant to my life. We're going to talk about it. Listen, I love a 2-piece. I've been on a self-love journey. I love being half naked on social media and loving my body and like sharing that and being the sports bra and talking about 3 kids and stretch marks. I love that. For me, that's for me, right? For Saray, she is a Latina woman, right? So she needs to be talking about those things. She needs to be speaking Spanish if that's important to her, which it is, right? She needs to be talking about the funny things of her, her getting sick and her mom coming over with all this crazy like water concoctions and like healing her with these spicy soups and stuff. Like when she talks about that, do you know who's going to get it? Her target market. Her people who are like, oh my God, girl, me too. Your mom used to beat you with a sandal. Mine too. Funny, right? When I'm making TikToks and reels and I'm talking about the funny things of my husband trying to like get in my pants or like, this crazy things that my kids do, I'm finding the people who are my target market. It's not about you being someone else. It's about you being you. Those spicy soups are legit though. Literally, look, she made it. Look at her. She healed. I had strep 4 times. Maybe if my mom knew how to make spicy soup and that wouldn't have been my situation. If I had crazy waters and, okay. So you guys, we also had time to play like in the mountains and like we ate all the foods and we laughed and, the most refreshing thing that I want you guys to know about Q is that like, it's weird because we have eyes on us. A lot of eyes on us, and we're doing very big things. We are so innovative in this space of teaching people business skills, teaching people to like the 5 F's. That's just like an unheard of thing at all. We are shaking things up. And if you guys allow yourselves to marinate in what we are about and let Q become a part of your life, it's not going to just change your life financially. It's going to grow you to be who you're supposed to be. It's going to grow your soul. It's going to grow your relationships. It's going to grow your bank account. You're going to grow and you're going to level up. And I truly believe that every single one of you guys are here because you're meant to be successful. So it's not a question of if, it's just a matter of when you decide to move, because I saw probably 8 to 11 people who have commented in the chat who have held themselves back, who I know hands down what they're capable of. I've seen how they've enrolled before, And they're holding themselves back because they're overthinking things instead of just sharing who they are, because they're so intimidated by who they think they have to be in order to be successful. And like I said before, procrastination is just the fear of success. So what if every single day we promise ourselves that we are going to get 5% better? We're going to love ourselves 5% more, just a little bit. I made my bed today. I listened to my stuff. I cleaned things. I got stuff done. I sat down. I recorded the trainings. I prepped some posts. I did some stuff. I talked to people. I set up one-on-one calls. I did all these things. I did not work out, but I went and jumped on the trampoline with Lucy and I plugged my phone in, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about like all or nothing. It's about just continuously getting a little bit better every single day, because I don't really think that there's an end point. 5 years from now, I'm going to be a completely different person I am now. I'm going to have like a 16-year-old, Okay, sorry. Do you have anything that you want to add to those things?
No, I just want to mention like a takeaway that I got like after everything that you were mentioning, you guys, is like that whole business mindset. Like what we have here is so different, you guys, and having that mentality, like embracing everything that you're being taught here, everything we have to offer, seeing it as assets in your business. Like you're a business owner, like you should be talking about all of this on social media. And this is going to help you, like Jade had mentioned, about targeting your right audience and not feeling like you're being fake, and being able to just like go like be loud and proud about what we have to offer, because there's no other company like this. And so when you're out there giving business tips or things that you're able to offer them, you guys, like I hadn't downloaded my QFit app. I literally just did it today. And when I was like looking at just the introduction video, I told my husband, I was like, I can't believe how, because these are things that I personally love. So these are things that I'm talking about on my social media. Like I always wanted to have customer retention, like things for them, like goodies. I had like a Google Doc that they would put their information in, and they would get like meal plans and like, but it was like stuff from Pinterest or like things that I would make from Canva. And like, it just didn't make any sense. And so here we have this live trainer. Like when I saw the little bubble of a human that was going to be my trainer, I'm like, this is very different. And so these are things that people just like myself, like I was interested in. This is things that I like and enjoy. There's going to be so many other people that are going to want to know more information about it as well. So being loud about it, educating yourself. If you feel very uncomfortable about it, it's probably because you just haven't gone into it and learned the ins and outs of it, which you don't have to know everything 100%, but by using it and talking about it on social media more, becoming more comfortable, more people are going to hear about it, and they're going to want to know, wait, what is that app that you just shared? Like, is that something that I get? And when Jade was just like mentioning all these trainings that they were having, like we didn't have that. So being able to use that and implement this here, like I'm ready to go out and like reach out to offices nearby and like local places and like give them business propositions of like, hey, you guys should join, because this is something that you could benefit from. So just start thinking of that bigger picture. Like this is just so small. Like the things that I feel like I was focusing on, I'm like, oh my gosh, no, like this, there's so much growth left here that you can truly make an impact in this business. And those are just things that I just wanted to mention from the stuff that you were telling me from Silver Summit.
I'm just excited, you guys. And I know that it's 14th and it's Valentine's Day for a lot of you guys. And I just want to tell you that I appreciate you. And, I keep saying this, but it's because it's true. I don't know what's going to happen in 6 months from now. I don't know what's going to happen a year from now. But what I do know is it's going to be really good. And when I think about it, it makes me want to cry, because I'm seeing people like we're all, even myself, like growing, becoming this person where you're like, oh man, I feel really good. Like, who am I? It feels so good. And we have the it's a choice. It's just a choice to get better and to become the person who we're supposed to become. It's a choice every single day, because you don't have to. because it's an option to stay where we are in our comfort zone. But I can tell you from experience of doing that for a really, really long time, it's not fulfilling. And, for me, it was when my daughter almost died that made me realize that life is short. And it's like, what the heck is the point if I'm not lit on fire, and if I'm not lit up, and if I'm not excited? And I would rather live like that than be in a place that's comfortable, because what is comfortable, really? I'm just proud of you guys. So, know that every single week we're going to be having training lives. They'll be live on our team page, so that way they can be saved in there, starting tomorrow, and other leadership trainings and all those kind of things. Just make sure you're watching out for all of that. Thank you, Saray, for just putting in your input. And I'm just really proud of all of you guys. So I want you guys to have an amazing rest of your night. I would take a picture of this training. It's always important, just like a really good tip. One of the number one reasons why people don't join these businesses is because they think that they will not have some sort of direction and support. And so when you show people that you have that, and that you have community, that you have leadership, that you have guidance, and you show them that, you're overcoming objections without even having to say anything. Like Jake says, John Wick style. Okay. All right. So I'm proud of you guys. I love you so much. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night, and we will talk to you guys later.